Hi everybody, Tim here with today's episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Season 7, Episode 15, Badda-Bing, Badda-Bang. So this was an okay episode. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. I know the writers for Deep Space Nine had a difficult time with the holodeck episodes, or the holosuite episodes, more specifically like the James Bond, Dr. Bashir type thing. So this was kind of a way around it, where it's a holodeck episode, but it's all about Vic Fontaine, and it's very like Ocean's 11 type reminiscent, at least in my opinion. So they're at the Vic Fontaine's club, and then suddenly it changes. The music changes, the girls change, the decorum changes, the atmosphere, everything about the whole club just changes. To kind of jump to the end, it turns out that the creator of the program wrote a Jack-in-the-Box, and basically it was something to just kind of pop up and change the entire program to spice it up in case it was getting boring, which everybody on Deep Space Nine likes going to Vic's for that reason, to just kind of unwind and be there, and they don't like this new change. So they decide that they need to come up with a way to change it back. And what the new program is a new owner has bought the club from Vic and has basically kicked Vic out. So now he's beat up and he's homeless and he can't really do anything. And so, like, Dr. Bashir and Nog and Cassidy Yates and O'Brien, Dax, everybody wants to get in to basically try to help Vic out. And so the plot is they want to do basically a bank heist. They want to go into the casino and steal all of the money before the new owner can give it to, like, the people above him. And they'll basically be bankrupt and it'll go back to the way it was. Now, they have to throw in some things here and there, so, like, they can't just wipe it out, because the way the program is made, if they just reset the program, Vic will lose all of his memories, and he'll lose everything, and then it'll just basically be a clean slate. And so Vic doesn't want that. He wants to keep his memories. So they can't do that. They can't just go in with a phaser. They have to do it with, like, the things of that time, and I think they said it was, like, 1962. So they have to have, like, they have to have guns, and they have to do stuff like that to make it fit. And it's basically just a way to keep them in the moment of a holosuite episode. Overall, it was a really great episode. Like I said, to me it reminded me of like Ocean's 11 or any sort of bank heist movie where they actually show you what they're doing before they do it. Like, oh, Nog's going to have to use his ears, and Ezri's going to be like a server that brings the tray around while Dr. Bashir dumps Epicac in it, and it's going to make this person sick, and that person does this. And it's a really interesting way to see all of these different plots. Some of the stuff going on, Captain Sisko doesn't want to be involved because he doesn't like how it's unrealistic of the time. He says in the 1960s, like, there was a lot of racism and a lot of prejudice, and like Vic's club, it just like is a beacon for that. Like that's the time period it's set in, and he wants no part of that. Whereas Cassidy comes back and says, like, but that's not the way the program's written. The program's written to be like what it could have been and how we've already overcome that. Eventually, Sisko does come in, and Avery Brooks has a great singing part at the very end of the episode. But, so, of course, with, like, all bank heist movies, stuff goes wrong. For example, like, Ezri drops her first drinks, and then when she goes in to deliver it, the new accountant is like, oh, the other guy is sick, so I'm here doing it. And it's almost, like, purposely written to be, like, messed up, which, by the way, that guy that was the accountant at that point, that was actually Robert O'Reilly. It's Chancellor Gowron, just without all the makeup. You can tell by the big eyes. So that was kind of cool. And he actually goes, instead of Robert O'Reilly, he goes by Bobby in the opening credits. So of course they do end up finally getting there by just improv and just throwing people under the bus, crying, stuff like that. Cassidy Yates has some really great scenes. Overall, I don't think this was a bad episode necessarily, but it's okay. It was just, I would rather have seen more of like the Dr. Bashir, James Bond episodes, but since they can't do that, we get an Ocean's 11 Vic Fontaine episode. And it is what it is. For those who have seen this one, what did you guys think about like James Darren and having his own episode? What did you think about the club? Go ahead, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for everything, and I will see you guys next time for Inter Armen Enim Silent Legis.